Hey guys, David here and welcome to this video. Now, the Witcher 3 PC build that you can see behind me actually has been finished for about 3 weeks now. But I've been procrastinating since then to make this video. But here we are. I don't have that much footage of the last parts of building as I just did a little bit here and there and didn't really record anything. So I'm just gonna go all around it, show you some beautiful B-roll and explain what I did. Since the last part, not a whole lot has changed, but still a lot of refinement has gone into it and there were some major changes that made it look a lot better. Now, the main design idea was that I wanted to incorporate Witcher 3, which is by far my favorite game, into a computer to show my passion and work with the game. But I also really wanted a white PC. That kind of really is on opposite ends, as Witcher 3, at least in the base game, is rather dark and not like the happiest game ever. So a snow white PC isn't really a good representation. But when we go more into Blood and Wine, the expansion pack, then the happy colors are much more present again and the whole mood is a lot lighter as well. So a lot of my inspiration I actually got from the expansion pack, Blood and Wine, and not the base game. Now, the blood in the cooling loop obviously stands for the blood that gets shed a lot in Witcher 3. And as you can see here in the front, I have the main logo, the wolf. And I made a separate video just about this ornament, so you can check that out up here. And now let's go over some of the 3D printed panels that I made for this build. I spent a lot of time inside of Fusion 360 designing all these panels. Now, I would have loved to make like a huge thing 3D that goes across all the panels, but neither my design abilities nor my creativity is good enough for that. So I stick with individual panels that just have their little designs on them. One of the first ones I did and also spent the most time on is the one for the PSU shroud on the top. I actually took the Novigrad map from the Witcher game and then one by one traced all the little houses on there and then made it into this map that you can see on the top of the PSU shroud. The lettering on the other side in comparison was like no work at all. I also worked with a lot of symbols. In front of the PSU shroud on a diagonal piece there, I got some of the achievements which I thought looked cool and traced those and put those on there. And I also have a lot of the symbols that are for like the character unlocks that you can do in the character development panel on the radiator in form of like little rectangles. And the wolf logo appears a couple times inside of the system as well. On the end of the PSU shroud, I put the wolf logo with the two swords and the signs up. And also around the motherboard, I printed a whole lot of covers that cover up all the ugly cables, except of course the beautifully sleeved cables by Mainframe Customs. And I also put another version of the wolf logo with some signs on there. And these panels around the motherboard is probably what took me the longest to design, as they had to fit perfectly and you can see quite a few mistakes very quickly if you don't make it perfect. So most of these panels took me multiple attempts to make them fit perfectly. So there was a lot of printing involved, a lot of designing, but I'm really happy with the end work of the panels. I started weathering some of them, but then I kinda stopped because it's a lot of work and I wasn't motivated anymore. But I actually think that the clean look looks almost better. So I might just reprint the one on top of the PSU shroud to make it as clean as the other ones, or I might leave it as well, I don't know yet. But I'm glad that I weathered the wolf logo in the front, as that looks absolutely amazing. I also added some more lighting, as you can see here. I added a 30 centimeter super bright LED strip in the top. The LEDs are like super close next to each other. I'm gonna link that down below, it's from Amazon. And I also added a hue plus all around that changes between white and orange. This just gives the PC some more movement and some more color, but also doesn't just lock it into the orange. Also, to give it some more movement, I added some Mayhem's Aurora booster to the fluid, which basically is like the show fluid that you can see, it's just not quite as dense. If you look closely at the CPU block, you can see that there is some build-up there from the Aurora booster, which is to be expected, but what you can see there is actually what started from like the first 2 weeks. Since then, in the last couple of weeks or months, it hasn't changed at all. So I think it just added a bit too much into the water that it just couldn't keep. Now the effect isn't very strong, but if you look closely you can see just the water moving, and it's also a great way to tell if your pump's dying or not. But the biggest change of all that I think makes the biggest difference is the frame that I added all around the tempered glass window. But adding all these LED strips, you would be able to just see them, which looks extremely ugly, and you can't really hide it behind just a piece of glass. So what I did is maxed out the window in the middle, and then from the back sprayed on mirror spray. This gives this PC this beautifully mirrored look, and it's really easy to apply. Now I had to apply many coats of that. Now I also had to spray some white spray paint behind it, as just the mirror spray is still slightly translucent, which didn't work with the LEDs behind it. So I just added a layer of white spray paint over it, which you can't see from the front, but makes a lot of difference. So that is mainly it. Those are all of the major changes that I did since the last 2 videos. And overall, I think this PC came out great. It looks really stellar, but in my vision I had almost a bit more in mind. But as it turns out, although you can do a lot with 3D printing, you can only print as nice as your model is. And 3D modeling something just out of the blue without any references is really hard. So I learned a lot doing this project, but just comparing it to other just normal PCs, of course it looks amazing, as you can't see many of the wires. But when you're the one building it, it's just, you're never gonna be happy. Like, I see every little flaw and every little defect that there is, which sometimes drives me crazy, but then I just gotta say, okay, for now I'm done, and this is really a fun product. So if you like this series, you can leave a like down below, and also make sure to subscribe to see all my future stuff I do, and leave a comment down below what you think. And you can also leave your questions down below. If there are enough, I might even do a Q&A video. Also, while you're down there, there's a description that you can expand with a whole bunch of links to like my social media, where I post some stuff about this computer. There's also my Amazon, eBay and Gearbest affiliate links that you can use when you buy online and support me that way without costing you any money. And also there might be sometimes a secret video linked down in the description. Just check it out. So thanks for watching, and until next time.